Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to the start of another reading vlog. I am a disheveled mess because I am in the throes of packing for this weekend. So it is Friday the 29th. It is the start of the Australian Ice Hockey League Finals weekend, which means we are playing 2 games today. Well, there are 2 games being played today, not we. I'm not playing, I'm going to watch. There are 2 games being played today, which are the play-in finals. So the game at 3 o'clock is Mustangs, my team, go Mustangs, and Perth, who will probably beat us. I'm still optimistic though because we are playing at home. And then at 7 o'clock tonight, it is Brisbane and Newcastle. Ultimately, I would like Brisbane to win, but I think it will possibly be Newcastle, but you never know. And then tomorrow there are 2 games, so that's the first and second team on the ladder will play whoever wins the games today, and then whoever wins those 2 games will play on Sunday for the final. So I did this vlog last year. It's a really fun weekend. This year there is a lot more happening around the finals, where like this year was the year where pretty much every game was sold out every week for every team, which was amazing. They've got coverage on ESPN here. It's being streamed on various places, including Disney Plus, which I think is amazing. And they've apparently also got things happening out at the little shopping district that is opposite the ice rink. So it should be fun. I've got to pack. I have to tidy up a little bit around here. If I get a chance, I'm going to quickly duck back out to the supermarket to get a couple of things, because I do take some food with me because I'm staying in a like a furnished apartment kind of place. I also want to film another video, but this is the intro to this one, and I will hopefully be able to bring you along for some of the bits and pieces. Hello friends, I am in my apartment for the weekend. One, the fan's on in the bathroom, but also if you hear any other noises, that's the wind. It's freaking windy. This is the entranceway. The bathroom is through here, and then there is the kitchen, the living room. For some reason the couch is made up as another bed, even though I said it was just me staying here. But I guess I can now tell my cousin if she wants to stay, she can probably stay. Then through here, here's the bedroom, and that's the view. And that's all the rain, and you can barely see it, but that there is the Melbourne Star, which is where I need to walk in a little bit. Oh look, there's a pool. Anyway, I'm here. I'm gonna finish unpacking the stuff that I need, and then probably in a little bit I'll head over to the ice rink because I've got to go pick up some jerseys. White jersey, because technically we are the away team because we are the lower ranked team playing. I shall see you guys a bit later. I'm sitting on the floor because I couldn't be bothered figuring out how else to place the camera. Anyway, it is 9:30. I'm gonna have a shower and I'm gonna probably read a little bit later. I didn't update between games. We lost our game, which was Mustangs versus Perth, which wasn't surprising. We did not get completely walked all over, which was a good thing. We actually played reasonably well considering everything from this season. Anyway, we lost, so Perth is going through tomorrow. We'll see them play Canberra Brave. I keep running into Canberra players in lifts while I'm staying here, so that's been quite funny, and also Brave fans as well. So as I keep saying to them, you guys need to win now because, you know, they're my backup team. We saw Brisbane lost to Newcastle North Stars. I really would have liked Brisbane to go through. It's the second time I've seen them in a preliminary final, and hopefully next year will be their year. So tomorrow Melbourne Ice will play North Stars, and I mean, hopefully North Stars beat Melbourne Ice. That would be nice. I'm really tired. I'm so tired. This is what happens when you sit in ice rinks from 3 o'clock until 9:15. Instead of reading, I'm going to edit. So I have my very important supplies here. And this is my travel drink bottle because it fits in my tiny little bag. And this is how I organize my footage for videos. On deck to edit and upload, not news. These are my folders. Where are we? We're going to be doing this one. It's my try chapter that has to go up tomorrow morning. It should have been up 2 days ago, but I haven't edited it, so it's not there. Good morning everyone, happy Saturday, day 2 of the finals weekend. I just ducked out to go and grab some things from the supermarket and got rained on. It's a good thing about grey is you can kind of actually see that it's still wet even though I've been inside for 10 minutes and had the heating on. It's very wet and windy in Melbourne at the moment. We've got a lot of southerly winds coming off of Antarctica, so it's freezing even though we're about to go into spring. So that's fun. But yeah, like there's a shopping centre right across from where I'm staying. And when I left, there were no clouds. It wasn't sunny and it wasn't warm, but there were no clouds. And by the time I did my little loop, because I was going to walk right around past the rink and come back just to get my steps up for this morning. Yeah, no, that wasn't a thing. It started pouring with rain. I had to wait for a little bit and then I just decided to risk it. And there's a couple of little shortcuts because there's a whole lot of apartments here. So there's little cut throughs that are all covered. So I managed to make my way back. And yeah, now I think I'm going to do some editing. Izzy has a live reading sprint thing with May in a little bit. So I might try and join in with that and then do some reading. I'm currently reading Vampires of Norte by Isabel Cañas as an audiobook. I've been reading it for a couple of days and I'm nearly finished, so I'm probably going to try and finish that today. But I can't do that while I'm editing because I need to hear myself. And then hopefully tonight I'll actually be able to read something. I've got a couple of sports romances that would be fun to read this weekend. Today's last game is a little bit earlier. It's an hour earlier, so by the time I get back here I should have time to read, which fingers crossed, that's what I would really like to do. And I'll also try and eat some more food in here so I don't have to eat at the rink. Okay, editing time. I think I said yesterday that I had to pick up some jerseys, one for me and one for my parents. So I thought I would show you the jerseys that I picked up. So jersey number 1 is 17, Scott Timmins. This is my one because Timmins is one of my favourite players. He was injured earlier in the season, so he hasn't played since the start of July. But I love watching him play. Hopefully he's back next season. That's the front. This is our regular home jersey. And this year, the jerseys have our 15-year anniversary logo on the shoulders, which is fun. Then I got the same jersey, but with 77 Tie Wishart's number. This is for my dad. It's a slightly larger size as well, but the same jersey. I won't flip it over. It's exactly the same, just different number. And the last jersey is our white away jersey, which my mum at one point said she really liked. So she picked the number 27. That is the date of her birthday. She doesn't really care about players. She doesn't actually know she's getting a jersey. So I just put Mustangs on the back because she legitimately does not care about the players, but she did say if she was going to get a jersey she'd like a white one. And that's the front of the white one, although you saw me wearing that in a clip from yesterday. So anyway, those are the jerseys that I picked up. I did not do my outfit before I went out to the game, so this is the black jersey. It is now 8:30 and I'm tired. I need to have a shower and I need to eat a snack. Melbourne Ice went through, which was expected. Canberra Brave went through, which I'm glad about because they're probably the only team that can beat Melbourne Ice and I want anyone except Melbourne Ice to win. A bit disappointed that Perth didn't get into their first, or have the chance to win their first Goodall Cup, but it is what it is, and I need Canberra to win tomorrow. Good morning friends, happy Sunday the 31st of August. I've just been for a walk and funny story, I got dressed, got ready, went downstairs, started my walk along the waterfront and went, something feels weird. I didn't take my glasses. So I've just done a 3K walk without my glasses, which is very, very odd. It's a very odd thing for me to do. It's the final day. I need to have a shower, then I'm going to start getting ready for the day. The game's at 2 o'clock. I did finish Vampires of Norte while I was on my walk, so that was part of the reason why I just kept walking until the audiobook was finished. I had like 30 minutes left. Ran into the Brave team again in the lobby. They're all getting ready for their big day, and I need to find some breakfast. And then I will update you on the book that I read last night when I get back. So breakfast is Vegemite on, well, I was going to do toast, but I couldn't be bothered getting the toaster out, so it's just on bread, and that's okay because the bread is fresh. But this is the appropriate Vegemite to butter ratio. There should always be more butter than Vegemite if you're eating Vegemite. Just a hint. Hopefully this camera angle works because you're currently sitting on a very wobbly box. Anyway, I said I would update you on the book that I read last night, which was coming in first place by Taylor Fitzpatrick, which was a hockey romance novella that's been sitting on my Kindle for a while. I don't know how I feel about this one. It was weird. So we have David and Jake, and they are rivals. They're both rookies at the same time, and they're both going through the draft at the same time. And everyone says they're going to be the first and second picks, but no one really knows who's going to go first. The entire story is from David's perspective, and David is incredibly, I don't know if it's socially awkward or socially unaware. I don't know if there is an element of neurodivergence in there, or just the fact that he's literally just not socialized ever. And look, I can relate. I'm the most socially awkward person ever, but he's so hyper focused on hockey because his parents have been absentee parents. His mother doesn't understand why he plays hockey, but has, you know, paid for it and supported him going all the way through, but she has a very important job and never attends any of his games. His father is separated from his mother and is only there when he thinks there's an opportunity for him to network. David ends up being second to Jake in the draft. And then the media builds up this huge rivalry between them, even though the fact that they've barely interacted except when they've played on opposite teams. One is American, one is Canadian, so they've constantly been playing each other. Eventually it all comes to a head, and one night after a game where they're being drafted, they're playing for the professional league teams, they end up hooking up, and David thinks that's it. He can actually be quite scathing because he is frustrated that he seems to constantly be coming in second place to Jake. Like, it goes back and forth. Jake eventually wins the Calder medal, is that the rookie one? And that night at the party, after the party, they leave, they sleep together, and then David says some truly not nice things and then leaves. And then that's it. So they've kind of, you know, sort of semi-ended this hookup relationship thing that they have. And then slowly they begin texting each other again, and Jake, for some reason, I don't understand why Jake continues to pursue David. I genuinely don't. He says he wants to try it again. He wants them to start again and start as friends first and get to know one another, and then the relationship builds. And then there is a trip to Jake's family because they're not telling anyone that they're out. There is a player in the league who comes out, actually two players who come out in the league throughout the course of the story, but not a lot is done with that. And then David goes to meet Jake's family, who are really accepting and lovely. Like, they're lovely, and David is just so incredibly awkward, and it makes the whole trip really messy. All right, sorry, my dad was calling. He's coming in for the final game today with my cousin. Anyway, so I genuinely don't understand this relationship. I don't know why Jake is trying so, like, Jake must be a saint. Jake had a huge amount of character development through the course of the story. David did not. I should have DNF'd it, but I kind of wanted to, I wanted to see what was potentially going to happen, and I'm not a lot. So that was disappointing. I won't talk too much about Vampires of Norte because it'll feature in my last 52 book club vlog. But I was listening to it as an audiobook. I was reading it for one that was features Latin American history. It's a historical story. Didn't have enough vampires in it. Like, there were vampires in it. The vampires did vampire things, but we don't really understand why there are vampires. And I like, if you're gonna have paranormal creatures, I do like a little bit of understanding as to how or why they exist. So that didn't happen. Oh, I think that what I will try and read a little bit later is a Amazon original short story, The Toy Car by Rose Tremain. It's one of the books that I picked up earlier in the year and would like to read, and it fits the next 25 and 25 reading challenge prompt, which dropped last night. So yes, I'm going to read that. Alrighty, I'm dressed for the day. We'll see if I freeze because I'm not in jeans for the first time, but I can't wear jeans with these boots. So yes, we are good to go for finals. All right, friends, it is 5:30. The game finished about an hour ago and I've just been killing time because I'm a bit sad. The team that I didn't want to win won, but you know what? I can be the bigger person and say congratulations to the Melbourne Ice, although now I'm going to have to deal with their fans for the next 12 months and that's going to be an experience. I feel really bad for the Canberra Brave. They played so well to get into the final and then the Ice have steamrolled everyone this season, so it is what it is. That said, like, the games this weekend have been really fun to watch. Like, the whole weekend itself has been super fun. My cousin came to her first final series. She's never been to any of the finals and she came to every single game and she had a great time, which is really fun. So now if the finals are ever back here again, because the contract is up for next year, you know, I've got people to come with me to the finals. And Dad came today as well, which was nice. Actually, can't remember if I showed you some of the things that I got. Pause please. Everyone be super proud of me. I did not buy any new hockey final gear this year, unlike last year, but that's because my jacket from last year is wonderful and I will continue to wear it. The District Docklands, which is where I'm staying, they did some events, so they actually did a little hockey finals brochure and they had a lot of vendors because this is a shopping precinct area. They did a whole bunch of things. They had some hockey games, they had interviews with players, etc. for the weekend, so I grabbed a couple of these just, you know, in case I want to figure out a way to scrapbook them or something. I did pick up a finals series puck, mostly because Mustang's logo is on there, and I do have this year's and last year's finals pucks. I don't think I got one the year that we won the final. I'll just add it to the stack on my bookshelf. The pucks that I have absolutely no use for, except as, you know, decent paperweights. And then the finals booklet, which has stats about the finals. It has information about all the teams. Did all the teams in the league this year? Yeah, so they did all the teams in the league. And they had the team rosters. There's some fun facts because it was 25 years. So they were the things that I picked up this weekend. And that's it. I was going to eat out, but everything was taking forever because I came back here, dropped my stuff off, walked back over there to get some food, and I just couldn't be bothered waiting in lines. I did start earlier the Toy Car, which is a short story. I might continue that and then shower and chill. And my goal tonight is to finish the Toy Car and also hopefully the Wolf at the Door. And then if I do that, I can do some editing or stuff because I will try and leave here fairly early tomorrow morning. I'm going to finish this short story and then I'll figure out my life. All right, so I read The Toy Car by Tremain and honestly, I was bored out of my brain. It was only 40 pages long. Yes, I could have DNF'd it. But again, a bit like the last one, I'm like, is something going to happen? Like, is this all that it is? And occasionally I will DNF. Like, you guys know I DNF pretty quickly. But I don't know, there was something about it. But I mean, it's not more than a 2-star read. It is about a 18-year-old boy who lives on a Greek island. His father has a taxi business on the island, his taxi empire, and he's set to inherit that, or to become a driver and, you know, inherit that business. His mother is English and convinces him to go and travel to London and stay with some of her family, some of her cousins, to see some of the world. And he has a miserable time of it. And the whole thing is just, he's miserable, he is struggling to make friends, he gets a job and then loses a job because of a bad choice on his part. He falls in love with a girl who doesn't care about him. And there's like I think it's like an 8-year age gap between them anyway. So like, understand, like, he's a teenager, he's a baby. And it basically ends with him calling his parents and saying no. And then he goes home and that's it. You win some, you lose some with these short stories. I'm going to shower and wash off all of my makeup and eat some food. Then I'm going to listen to my audiobook. That's my plan. Hi everyone, I'm home now. I didn't update you last night when I finished reading my book just because I was so tired and I still had to do things like wash the dishes and tidy up the apartment where I was staying. So I've done all of that. I'm home. I've had the live show for Angel's Blood with Heather. I did finish The Wolf at the Door by Charlie Adhara, which is a book that Jordan from Juliet Fox Reads had recommended. She's on Instagram, and I quite enjoy following her content and seeing her recs. Not everything aligns kind of with what I'm interested in reading, but this was a paranormal romance. It's queer, and I've had it sitting in my Libby holds for a while, but I also had the audiobook of it sitting in my audiobook thing, so you know, now I've read it. It is the first book in the Big Bad Wolf series. We are following Cooper, who is a former FBI agent turned BSI agent, and I forgot what BSI stands for. This is the only problem with me in audiobooks, is I don't retain the same level of information, although let's face it, I don't retain the same amount of information on any book that I read at the moment. So he works kind of in a supernatural division. The world knows that werewolves exist, and he is part of a task force that is trying to help manage that in society, except humans can't tell who's a werewolf unless they start shifting. And apparently once they start shifting, like, humans can't help but watch. Like, it's a weird thing. He and his partner have just wrapped up a case, and Cooper has been assigned a new partner for a case where there's been some violent attacks and people go missing. And that's when he meets Oliver Park, who happens to be a werewolf and is a member of the Trust, which is basically the werewolf equivalent of the BSI, and they want to build better relationships between the two agencies and hopefully foster a little bit better relationship between humans and werewolves. And initially Cooper is a bit standoffish. He's never really mixed with werewolves outside of this. Both he and Oliver have, you know, particular skill sets that are applicable in this case, and they end up investigating this case, which happens to be in Park's hometown, which causes a lot of conflict because initially Cooper thinks that it's a bit of nepotism, and Park's inserted himself into an investigation to clear his own family members, which we find out is not true, and there's a sort of a bigger conspiracy going on about interactions between humans and werewolves. I enjoyed it. I was not overly thrilled with the narrator, the audio narrator. Who was it? Eric Bloomquist. And I have a feeling, I don't know if it was so much his performance as it was the style of writing in the book, because what I noticed at points, there were lots of short sentences, and just the way that it was being read, and look, granted I speed everything up, so it could even be the fact that I was listening it on a faster speed. It just didn't sound right when reading it out loud. So I have requested book 2 from the series as an ebook from Libby, and the next time I'm going to try and read, I'm going to read it as an ebook and just see if there's a difference in elevating sort of my reaction to it. But I did enjoy it. Always up for a romance, mystery, romantic suspense-ish kind of thing, and if there's paranormal romance, even better. And it's just reminded me that I need to go back to another series by Charlie Adhara, which was the one that started with Pack of Lies, but I might need to reread Pack of Lies before I do that. So overall, this was probably the most successful book that I read over the weekend, and yeah, it was a fun weekend. I now have a whole week to myself, except for one day babysitting, where I get to just kind of chill out and recover and read whatever I want and do whatever I want and not have to worry about work until I go back in exactly 1 week's time, and I'll probably have like a to-do list a mile long, but you know what, it is what it is. So I'm going to enjoy the time while I have it. Thanks so much for hanging out with me in this vlog. Hopefully it was interesting. I mean, I probably should have read hockey romances, but I really was just so tired and did not have that much time in the end, so I probably wouldn't have enjoyed them as much if I had picked them up. Thanks for watching. If you want to let me know that you're here but you don't leave a comment, feel free to leave any kind of ice hockey emoji. Otherwise, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.